Well, hello everybody. We're back here for the 6th episode of 5 for Talking. That's really the 5th episode, but I can't count. I'm here with this guy. His name's Bargo, and this other guy. His name's Katz. I'm not going to point at them because every time I do that, it's never pointing at the wrong person when I edit the video. So go.
Never pointing at the wrong person. Yes,
yeah, it's like one of them's got to be in one of these directions.
It's like killing two birds with one bone.
Yeah, get two birds stoned at once.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, what's your name? Tell them how it goes. Macho Man Sandy Ravage.
I don't know who you're pointing at.
Nick, did you ever notice my name?
Macho Man Sandy Ravage. Wow, that's a good one.
Okay, come on.
All right, we're starting up.
Yeah, we're here.
You guys have like awesome T-shirts, by the way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so the draft lottery kind of just started. A lot of the teams that were eligible to get that first pick kind of got robbed. So right now it's open. So let me ask you guys right away. So obviously the playoffs are going to be starting up very, very soon. If you are a team that you know are not going to be going deep or don't have a chance for that Stanley Cup, do you purposely tank and go for that first pick?
Michael?
If you want it, do you like it?
Go ahead, Bargo.
Do you like it?
No.
All right. That was super in-depth. Thank you. Yeah. If you're the Leafs, you absolutely tank because you're not going to beat Boston anyways. You have absolutely 0% chance of beating Boston. Just tank.
See, here's my question to you guys. So there's not a lot of defensemen in this draft year, and if I'm the Leafs, I'm pretty certain that they're going to want to draft a defenseman because they are in dire need of deep. So
you know what? If they get knocked out and they get Lafreniere, they get Lafreniere.
Yeah,
I would not pick anyone else.
You trade him and you could get anything you want.
No, you trade Tavares.
Okay, fine. His right now
contract-wise, it'll be beautiful because you're going to be paying him freaking fifth kniff for him.
Yeah, he has value. He holds value.
I think as a franchise right now with going into it, this was my in-depth, is you don't right now with these playoff format and people being at home for so long, anything could happen. Boston is older dudes. You never know. They can be freaking restless and tired. And you go up to them now and you play them, it could be a completely different game. When you go into the playoffs, usually you're like peak form at that point.
But let's be realistic. Even let's just say me being a jerk aside, what are the odds that the Leafs win 5 playoff rounds? Like realistically, like 1 in 100?
Age is their benefit right now, and if they can remain healthy.
Yeah, but there's other teams that have just as young teams as them. Colorado, Edmonton. There's people that can hang with that.
On those teams with like skill/star power is not the same as Toronto.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay's different though. Tampa Bay's stacked. Tampa Bay got eliminated first round last year.
Tampa Bay.
What's to say that's not going to happen again?
Yeah, but what's to say the Leafs don't?
I agree. But who are the Leafs up against? I forget who they're facing.
Columbus.
So they're going to be, let's say you beat Columbus, then you go into Boston. Boston's still at home picking their nose.
This is the issue,
now you're warmed up.
You're almost guaranteed that you're going to beat Columbus. Like if the Leafs lose to Columbus actually without attempting to tank, they are just
first round
the worst
knockouts,
team
what is
ever.
it, 8 teams?
Yeah.
So it's 1 in 8 that you'll get the first round pick. Those are your odds.
Yeah. No, it's 8, 4 on each side.
And then your odds to win the cup?
But you're not going to win the cup.
That's what I mean. So I'm saying it like both ways. Both ways you look at it different. But like you're talking about guys that play hockey. Like these guys aren't going to go there and tank just to tank.
I'm not.
They all want to play.
He's being hypothetical. He's being hypothetical. Nobody's going to tank.
No.
Would you guys not argue that they did a good job in tanking a few years ago, getting that first pick for Austin Matthews?
Yeah, but they didn't even have to tank. That team was ridiculously bad.
Trash. Same thing with Ottawa. Like I feel bad for Ottawa and Detroit. Their team is trash.
Okay, so
And now you missed out on the first round pick.
before we get into general draft talk, Nick, do you have anything you want to say on this subject?
It's because there hasn't been hockey in a few months. I just don't know what's exactly is going to happen. I think the Leafs have a shot of winning, just like any other team in this playoff format. And you're right, Bargo. Boston is there for the pickings, but I don't know, man. I just feel if the Leafs can get it together, they have a really good shot of overcoming that hump this year with Boston.
Okay. I don't think we need to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense. I do have. It could go either way. Tanking's not worth it. Going to the next round is probably not worth it. Either way, I don't think. Like I'm not trying to be the negative guy, but I don't think they're gonna win. Like let's just be realistic.
Play your asses off, man. That's it.
Yeah. Have they ever done that? Have you ever seen them do that once?
In the playoffs so far against Boston, not once.
Ever against anyone. Like Washington, yeah, okay, they put up a good fight, but they were not going to beat the next team after Washington anyways.
Not the way that they were playing, no.
Okay, anyways, so let's just talk about the draft, I guess.
Horrid.
So
Worst I've ever seen.
Well, for me, I loved it because I hate Detroit. So that made me laugh. You guaranteed 2 more years of completely feeding at the bottom with this draft pick.
Same thing with Ottawa.
But the difference with Ottawa is at least they still have 2 picks.
The difference is with Ottawa, is there a franchise that can be like sent to Nordique, like to Quebec? They can't sell tickets.
Yeah, but
they also miss out on an opportunity to get one of the best players in the NHL.
But every draft pick they've made over the last couple of years has turned out to be good. Shabbat, White,
what's going to happen when Shabbat's contract's up? What do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to stay in the?
He got re-signed already.
For how long?
I swear it's like 7 years. Didn't he get the same contract that Karlsson got? Like Karlsson's old contract before? I might just be making that up in my head, but I swear that happened.
I feel like someone should Google that right now.
Well, we're not Googling anything. You Googleizer.
So the top defensive pick will be this guy named Jamie Drysdale. I don't know a lot about him. 5'11", 170 pounds. Doesn't
he's
really
going
fit.
to Ottawa.
You think he's going to Ottawa?
Ottawa's going to take. Ottawa's going to choose the winger. I can't remember his name. There's another guy who has similar stats to Lafreniere. I don't know.
Alexis Lafreniere?
I'm not sure what the other guy's name is, to be honest with you, but he has similar stats. I'm telling you, they're going to take him, and they're going to take the defenseman. Detroit's going to take the big center, and the second-round pick is going to take that guy from Europe, LA. Or LA is going to take the big center. Either way. I think, listen, however you feel aside, this sets Detroit back huge in the thing, okay? Not only that, but New Jersey ended up with, I think the 7th or 6th, and then Buffalo got the 8th. So 2 teams that really needed a shot at getting the next draft pick, even though they can't draft, which I'm going to get into that. They lost. Both of those teams lost. LA got moved up huge. LA getting the second round pick is huge. Their rebuild is already jump started.
They were also a tank team too this year.
But they were not even close to as bad as those teams.
Depth wise, no. But skill and caliber and being able to compete, yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't do as bad. LA never looked like they were in full tank mode. Detroit and Ottawa looked like completely. Detroit was could not even. They weren't even in this league.
But LA, you have seasoned vets in LA.
Mm-hmm.
They still their ability isn't how it is for these young kids, but they still know the game. They can make a fight for it.
This draft pick is going to be huge for them.
Detroit, you lost your coach, you lost all your star power, and then now you go to
and you're coming in a weaker draft.
You lost your GM.
Yeah, and then you look at Ottawa, and Ottawa's just Cacaneda, man.
No, Ottawa's not that bad. I don't know why you think Ottawa's that bad.
They're bad.
So Ottawa's about to get 2 top 5 picks.
As a franchise, too?
Yeah, but that's because Melnick. You got to get rid of Melnick. He's the owner. What are you going to do?
In the playoffs, you don't even sell out.
So you guys mentioned Buffalo. They're not so great right now. Looks like they had another bad year. You're Jack Eichel. Do you ask for a trade?
Yes.
Because he seems to be frustrated with that organization right now.
Do you like playing in Buffalo? If yes, then stay in Buffalo. If not, there's nothing there for you because they do not care about you.
I feel like he had a LeBron James moment in Buffalo. Like he requested things and stuff like that, like where like they just bought into it because he's their star player.
Okay, just look at what they've done. Okay, I'm just gonna read this because it is like I don't even have words for it. This is the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years of draft picks for Buffalo have all been in the top. 8 of them have been in the top, or sorry, 7 of them are in the top 10, and 2 of them are under 16th. Dylan Cousins, 7th overall pick. I guess that's last year. We don't know yet. Dahlin, 1st round pick. Middlestat, 8th round pick. Nylander, 8th round pick. Eichel, 2nd round pick. Or 2nd overall. Sorry, these are all overall. Reinhardt, 2nd overall. Ristolainen, 8th overall. Gregor Ankel, 12th overall. 16th, Joel Armia. You had all of these picks. That makes Edmonton's drafting look good. And Edmonton is they're still praising like Nugent Hopkins for being mediocre. And then New Jersey had Jack Hughes at 1st overall last year, Ty Smith at 17th, then Nico Hischier at 1st overall again the year before that, and then Pavel Zacha at 6th overall the year before that. And they're like those 2 teams are like I don't even know what to tell you about drafting. Like, give me your joke. How do you have that many picks, Buffalo? How is that possible?
I don't know. But don't be hating on Nugent Hopkins. He had a pretty decent year this year.
Yeah, but I'm not going to praise a 1st overall pick for being okay.
Being pretty decent 1 year out of, 10 now?
Like, it's not even like he's bad, but you're a bust technically because you shouldn't. If you get drafted in the top 3 and your career ends up being an okay player, then you're a bust.
You're a 3rd-line center in Edmonton?
Yeah, it's just being realistic, right? And look at all those picks. Middlestat's not playing anything. Reinhardt is a complete bust so far. I don't even think he's on Buffalo still. What do you do? Ristolainen wants out. Did they trade Ristolainen? I don't know. I don't remember. But he wanted out. How long are you gonna have Dahlin for?
He's on their trading block.
Dahlin's number one pick, the best drafted defenseman of the last 5 years, and you're a joke. He's gonna leave too. When his contract's up, his 3-year rookie contract, he's out the door.
It looks like they're in a pretty bad state. All right, shall we move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Hall of Fame class has been released. We got Hall of Fame class: Jerome McGinley, Marian Hossa, Kevin Lowe, Doug Wilson, and Canadian women's national team goalie Kim St. Pierre. What do you guys think?
Well, I didn't know we were just giving out Hall of Fame inductees to anybody nowadays. Jerome McGinley, who's that? I don't even remember you. What did you do? Did you win any cups?
Oh, okay.
Did you win any cups? You're in the Hall of Fame. What are you, the new Tracy McGrady?
Let's just piss off the viewers. Why don't we?
No, they're from Calgary. It doesn't matter.
Oh wow.
If you're that close to Edmonton, I don't know.
I have to disagree with you. I think Jerome McGinley has earned that spot. I think he did a lot for Calgary. Brought him to the finals. They should have won against Tampa that year, but they got robbed. Who else did he play for? He played for Colorado. I think he went to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Boston, Dallas.
Boston. So overall, I think he had a very, very good career.
He did have a really good career, and he was a very underrated goal scorer by nowadays standards because we don't look back at McGinley and be like, wow, remember all those goals he scored? At the time, people were like, oh, yeah, he was dope. And he was very physical. He was a great leader.
He was a good all-around.
He never got to play on a good team, really. I wouldn't even say that year that Calgary team was very good. He carried that team mostly. And the goalie. Who was the goalie that year? Kiprusoff?
I think it was Kiprusoff.
they carried that whole team. Like there wasn't much. I wouldn't like praise that team for being insanely good or anything. He deserves it 100%. He won gold medals for Canada. Like he should have been. I'm pretty sure he was the captain of one of the teams.
No.
Yeah. Who's the captain? Fucking some guy from Edmonton? Wayne Gretzky? Fuck off. Anyways, Nick's like, why does everyone hate Edmonton so much? Yeah, that's fine. Marian Hossa, he's one of the best European players of all time, skill level wise, points wise. He won 3 cups. He was an important part of the Ottawa team. He was an important part of the Chicago team. And who else did he play for?
Marian Hossa played
Atlanta?
for Detroit.
And Atlanta, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so but anyways, he went to the finals, I think 4 years in a row and didn't win. And
Yeah, I
then
remember
won
that.
the 3 times with he went with Pittsburgh and lost, then went with Detroit and lost, and then went with Pittsburgh. Like I don't remember what it was.
Finally got to Chicago and he won one.
He deserves it. Doug Wilson's one of the better offensive like two-way defensemen from that era. He deserves it. I mean, he didn't really win anything, but Kevin Lowe I don't know about because like yeah, he was part of Stanley Cup winning teams. He was like a grinder. That's like saying we should give Darcy Tucker a nod to the Hall of Fame for playing on a team once. That one I'm being curious about.
I'm not sure if Kevin Lowe is going in as a builder though.
No, he's going in as a player. It says as a player.
Okay.
The only one as a builder is Holland.
Well, what about some of the guys that got snubbed? Alexander McGillney. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more players out there.
But like you compare him to the guys that got inducted, Alexander McGillney, and he's their class, maybe a little less.
Skill wise, it's a different story. And we had this talk already about players that should be in, and there's a lot of them actually. But think of it like this: you have to put a defenseman in. Doug Wilson's a good choice. Alexander McGillney never won anything. Like, I don't think he ever won literally any award ever. Did he? Like, Ginla's like the...
Didn't he win a cup with New Jersey?
Maybe. You might be right, actually. I could be wrong.
I would have to take a look at that.
Well, I'm not going to, though.
Okay. But
Ginla's like what you think of when you think of, like, leadership of that era. Like, he's like... That's him, and not to mention he was like an Iron Man. How long did he play for? And he was like a great player. And Hossa was a huge part of 3 Stanley Cups. A huge part.
All right. Speaking of snubs, I was reading an article recently, and it reads the Hall of Fame needs more goalies, starting with Curtis Joseph. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the Hall of Fame needs more goalies?
Just going to continue my heel run here because I feel like Hulk Hogan in the NWO. No. I mean, yes, but not Curtis Joseph.
Why not?
You tell me why first.
Well, you're the one that said it. I want to hear your opinion.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because this is not actually how I feel. This is the actual facts on the paper that, like, when I researched it, when we had this talk prior, what it was. So a lot of people look at his stats, like the people that are doing the voting. I'm not sure. I can't remember who does it. I don't care anyways. And yes, he has like top 5 wins all time or whatever it is. But if you look at his win-loss ratio, it's not great. His goals against average is not great. His save percentage is not great. The amount of shots he faced per game is not great. He never led any teams single-handedly except for the 1 year that
with
Edmonton,
the Blues, 62 games.
Yeah, the 1 year with the Blues and the 1 year with Edmonton when he carried them. I'm not saying he didn't do a lot for the Leafs because I know he did. I watched him. But that team was really good. Those Leafs teams were really good. They were not a joke. And like I said, this is not me saying this. This is why they think that he's not getting the nod. Because if you look at his trophy case, he doesn't. I'm pretty sure I'm going to check it now, but I'm pretty sure he has 0 wins of anything. He never even had a second place in the Vezina voting ever.
He did. He had 1. I forget who he lost to. That year when he played in St. Louis and got to 62 games.
But like I said, if you're gonna go goalies, I mean, how are you not gonna have him? Is Ed Belfour in?
Is Ed Belfour in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he's not in the Hall of Fame. Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would say he's better. He's definitely a better goalie. But like I said, it's not me. That's not me. That's the reasoning from the article I read. I want to say it was The Score, or actually it was the Hockey News.
It was an article off the Score, this portion I just read.
McGillney did win a cup with New Jersey. You are correct.
Oh, good guess.
No, you knew, you dick weasel.
Well, those are my questions. So I don't know if you guys got any.
Yeah, he won a Clancy, and he did that 1 year. He was second place in Vezina voting. That Anthony said.
He won a Clancy Award?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking about Curtis Joseph. But
that's
how
is a Clancy Award given to a goalie? Anyway, it's okay.
It's but I know you want him in because you like him a lot.
I think Cujo is deserving of it. I think he had a good.
I think eventually
I think he had some good years with St. Louis. I think he had a good year with the Edmonton year that you were talking about, and I think he had a good year with Toronto. I think he makes key saves when called upon. I know his record doesn't really reflect that of a star goalie, but when called upon, he does step up. So
well, that St. Louis team and the Edmonton team, those two teams that he went really far with, both had no business even going anywhere in the playoffs. So
who, the Blues team?
That Blues team he was on.
I disagree. What are you talking about? They have Brett Hull. They had Al McInnes.
Look it up. Do a little look up. Give her a little look it up on.
Okay, I'll look it up later on.
They pushed his games. He played 62 games that year.
Yeah, he played 62 games. Like
that's a lot.
That's him. You think Al McInnes is the reason they made that? Did anything?
Well, I'm pretty sure Brett Hull had a big. Bret Hart.
Put him in a sharpshooter.
Hall had a. Was a big factor in that. So wasn't that one of the years that he scored like 80 goals?
Listen, do you want me to stick up for Cujo or not?
It didn't sound like you were.
It sounded like I was.
All right. Anyways, no, I'm done with my questions. So
he should be in. He should be in the Hall of Fame. It's not optional that at some point Curtis Joseph should be in the Hall of Fame. Is it now? I don't know. I think there's people. There might be, but did any goalies go in this year? No.
I didn't see any. Hey, I think Cujo is the best there is, the best there was, and the. Anyway.
Is he
all right.
The man
that was a Bret Hart reference.
Bret Hart? I got was there.
Yeah.
The excellence of execution. Okay. So I had a question, and it was teams that. Yeah, thanks. It was teams that that are this season, based on the roster they had coming in, that should have done better than they did. And the weird part is, I feel like we kind of touched on that a lot. My two biggest teams was Buffalo and New Jersey. Like, how do you blow this? It's like mind-boggling how bad Buffalo is. How is Buffalo that bad? Anybody?
So I was thinking the exact same team in my head as soon as you brought that up.
Look, what team this year disappointed you? Like, that you were like, I thought this team was going to be good, and they weren't good.
Buffalo definitely seems like a team that should have done much, much better than what they've shown. But like, it seems like it's the same story with them every single year, and a part of me isn't surprised. You know what I mean? But on the opposite side, I look at Columbus, and they're a depleted team from last year. They lost a couple of key players, their goalie and Panarin to New York Rangers, and they still played well. So I think they've surprised me in how well they played this year. Just to add to your question.
Okay, so actually, Bargo, do you have anything you want to say on that?
No, Buffalo's my team that I thought would do a lot better. Depth-wise and everything else, they had it. But
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
guess
make
they're
any
young.
sense to me.
Huh?
It doesn't make sense to me how bad they are.
Yeah, I agree. Ottawa, I mean, I expected it. Detroit, I expected it. New Jersey is a shocker as well. Who else?
Jersey's bad, man. Jersey. Look at this guy. When they lost Taylor Hall, I mean, you know what? I'm going to add to that. I think Florida should have probably done better than what they were showing this past year. You know what I
That's
mean?
actually, that's a really good choice. That's a really good
Florida's
choice.
another one. I agree.
I didn't even think of that because they made the playoffs.
They
I
got their
also
goalie in
think Toronto should
Bobrovsky.
have done better too.
Bobrovsky didn't play well this year.
No, and you're right, Bargo. Toronto should have done way better this year because they've been playing together for a couple years now. It's the same roster. They should have got their together and make a true run out of this. And it seems like they've plateaued for some odd reason. I don't know. I don't get
Did
it.
they come out the gate strong this year? I don't remember.
The Leafs?
Yeah.
I don't recall. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I just think like overall they were no, because they didn't come out of the gate strong because of the Babcock firing. So
He's
there
got
you
to be
go.
in one of these directions. Okay, so this is things I found things. So these are 4 goalies that are not in the Hall of Fame that NHL, the website NHL.com, thinks should be in the Hall of Fame. So I want your guys' opinion, and I want them ranked in the order that they should go into the Hall of Fame.
What we got? 7 minutes now? Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Curtis Joseph, Tom Barrasso, Mike Vernon, Chris Osgood. Mike Vernon has 2 cups. Tom
So Mike
Barrasso has 2
Vernon,
cups.
Mike
Chris
Vernon,
Osgood has
Osgood.
3
Barrasso,
cups.
Cujo. Cujo's last.
No. You
Yeah.
go.
Are we talking about like are we using cup wins as a reference of
No, I'm okay. This is me.
mhm.
Curtis Joseph, Chris Osgood, because I think what he did at such a tiny size for a goalie is pretty crazy. Even though his team was really good, then I would say Tom Barrasso and then Mike Vernon, because Mike Vernon, it's not that he was bad, but his championship in Detroit was literally spoon-fed. That team was amazing. And he immediately got pulled out of the number 1 starting position for Chris Osgood the next year.
I like Chris Osgood a lot as a goalie. I could follow that team pretty well too. So I don't know. For me, Cujo and like those goalies there, like I mean, games played, skill level, he's probably not last, but
Tom Barrasso is probably the least of skill levels of those 4.
yeah.
So if I had to rank them, I'd probably put Vernon, Osgood, Joseph, and Barrasso. Barrasso was spoon-fed those 2 cups because of the team that he had in front of him. I mean, come on, you had Lemieux, Francis, Yager, Stevens, Larry Murphy, Paul Coffey.
I was going to say, we didn't even start talking about defensive players. Yeah. You had Ken Reggett as your backup goalie, who was like a legit starter at the time.
Yeah, those Detroit teams were unbelievable in front of Mike Vernon and Chris Osgood because Vernon won 1 cup with Calgary and won.
His Calgary win is like that win by Calgary was huge.
Yeah.
That was they had a good team.
But they had a wicked team in front.
Yeah, they did. Did they have Gilmore?
Gilmore was on that team. Joe
McDonald,
Newendike, Lanny McDonald, Gary Roberts,
Al McInnes.
Yeah.
That team was stacked.
Stacked team. Very.
Jamie McCowan.
I mean, some guys were at the tail end of their career, and
did they have
some were up and coming starters. Huh?
Did they have Fleury? Was that his rookie season?
Yeah,
I think
Theo
so.
Fleury was on there too.
That team was crazy.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But don't knock that Detroit team, man. That
I'm
Detroit
not
team was
knocking-
crazy too.
They're the okay. If you're gonna go to raw teams, that Pittsburgh team is like number one. But that Detroit team, Brendan Shanahan, Kozlov,
I
Fedorov,
I think
Lindstrom.
Shanahan came later on. I could be wrong, but
He was
but
there
I,
for the Osgood wins for sure.
but I do recall for sure. You had Yzerman, you had Fedorov, you had
You had Kozlov, you had Fetisov,
yeah.
Lindstrom, and they had another huge defenseman before Lindstrom, didn't they? Or at the same time? I don't know. Was Paul Coffey there maybe? I know he played on Detroit for like a season.
Paul Coffey, I can't think came later on. I don't remember when he got there, but man, yeah, those were some great teams, man.
Note to self: do more research.
All four of those goalies are deserving of a Hall of Fame induction. So,
I agree. Well, we just named 4 goalies, and now you have Luongo that retired. He's guaranteed a spot. Lundqvist
he's
is
gonna
about
get
to
in there.
retire. Rene probably only has like 3 seasons left. Those are all 3 going in the Hall of Fame.
If I had to choose, Luongo will go in front of all those guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we all picked Luongo when we built our teams, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Man,
It's like Luongo Price for like our number 1, number 2.
not only does he have the size, but he has the skill, and he completed unbelievable feats as a goalie in the NHL, especially with the amount of shots that he faced in Florida. It was ridiculous.
And he had a really bad team in front of him.
Yeah, they were so bad.
Yeah. And
Even
he
in
had one of
Vancouver.
the best save percentages.
Yeah. He saved like 50 shots. He had 50 shots against. I think, don't take my word for this. I'll research it and bring it back next time. But I think it was something like 15 times that season he had 50 shots against.
Yep.
In Vancouver, they had a decent team in front of them. They
No,
made
they
a
had a
couple
good
good
team.
runs continuously.
But he couldn't
But
carry
they
them all
never
the
won.
way. They didn't have enough
Yeah.
depth.
No. I think they just had the Sedins, basically.
No, they had Bertuzzi. They had Naslund, I think, still. It was right at the end of those guys, wasn't it?
End of
They did.
Naslund and Bertuzzi, yeah.
It was like right at the end.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, anyways, the show's over. Why are you guys still here? Just go home.
Well, time to have a beer.
All right. This is this guy. This Bargo's one of these spots. He say peace out. And then like, comment, and then that guy do the thing.
Which guy?
That guy.
That
Sandy Ravage.
guy? Subscribe.